Okay, so what I do with my scaffolding clamps is, first of all, I put a coat of 25% thinned out paint on the threads, the nuts, the knuckles, and the hinges. 25% thinned out enamel-based paint. Then, before I use them, I load up hydraulic fluid on the hinging and on the threads. Now, if I was to do this with a hand ratchet, it might take me 2 or 3 hours to ratchet the nuts on and off. However, what I'm going to use here is called a butterfly tool. And this is for taking engines apart, doing multiple bolts or nuts or self-taps. And it's called a butterfly tool. And it works like a butterfly. One side is forward, and one side is back. Okay, and then I have a 5/8, 11/16 socket, that goes on the nuts. So I'm gonna run the nuts all the way up to the end, and then I'm gonna back them off all the way to the beginning. Now it's already oiled up. I'll just show you one time. I take the 60-year-old oil can. That was my great-grandfather's. And I put oil on here like that right at the top. The oil drips down into the nut. And I do that on the hinges as well. And that takes about 10 minutes to do all of these. And then when you put the oil on there, the oil acts as a preservative, but it also acts as a lubricant because the paint is going to give you friction. So the paint gives you friction, but the paint protects the threads. You lose something and you gain something by painting everything. You know that. Everything is a plus and a minus here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up to show you. I'm going to spin it around. Okay. How do I? Okay. Doesn't really matter. I'll put this like this. Put that like that. I'll put the ear muffs on. Put the wrench on. All right, I'm not going to do them all. I just want to show you what I do. So one side of this wrench goes clockwise, and I'm going to clockwise it up. And then one side goes back. And that's how long it takes. About 4 or 5 seconds once you get the hang of it. If you did it by hand, it could take you a long time. Okay, that one's done. Okay, we'll do one more, and then that's it. That's it for you for tonight. One more. Okay, and then back out. Okay, that's one. Okay, so you get the idea. That's how I pre-lube all my clamps are pre-lubed, and then after I put them on, I'll spray another coat of oil on the threads, just to keep the rain off them for a few weeks, months, whatever. But also that I put oil on these threads and I ran the nut up and down the threads. What that does is when this nut locks up, when it locks up, there's going to be oil under the thread. It's going to keep the moisture, the rain, the weather, could be snow, sleet, whatever, keeps the weather off the threads. The clamps last, this way the clamps will last 20 years. The other way, if you let them rust, well, they might last 2 years and then the nuts strip off them. So let's now you could use WD-40 or corrosion block, but this stuff is $36 a can for 11 ounces. So I use hydraulic oil, which costs about $11 a gallon. All right, now how do I turn this around? It doesn't want to turn around. Okay, well, you know what? There we are. There we are, my bright little star. So this is Michael Fazio in the Philippines telling you you can get 10 years of life out of the clamps if you pre-paint them, and then pre-oil them, and then throw more oil on. Now, oil on a scaffold is not a good thing, and these clamps are going to be used to make a ladder with those pipes. So it's really not a good idea to put oil on it. However, when I'm all done, believe it or not, I'll mix up about 4 ounces of clothes soap, and I have a bench brush, and I'll wash the oil off any pipes, the rungs and the pipes that the oil gets on. This way, from day one, there's no oil on the rungs, and while I'm going up and down on the pipe. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but this way the clamps last, like I said, 10 years. And then if you put them on and then you paint them, well, then they're going to last forever, because paint is what you put on steel to preserve the integrity of the metal. All right, so then thanks for watching. This is, of course, Michael Fazio in the Philippines saying, get your best bang for the buck, put the oil on the clamps, and use a butterfly tool to run the nuts up and down on the threads. Amping Permi, which of course means take care always, from the Philippines, baby. That's right.